Hey guys, it's Nick here with Folks Custom Cranks. Thank you guys for joining our live stream. I know the NFL draft's going on here in Pittsburgh. That being said, we did not want anything to do with being in downtown Pittsburgh today or this weekend, so we're glad to be watching it from home. We'd really like to be there watching, Pat McAfee live and stuff, but pretty busy. So thank you guys for watching. Should be a cool little live stream. First off, wanted to let everyone know we are doing a giveaway this live stream. All you have to do is comment on any of the platforms, comment CC, that is for COVID Critter. The winner is going to get two COVID critters before they're even announced or before they're even for sale. We'll ship these out to you tomorrow. So all you have to do is comment CC on any of the platforms you're watching. You're going to get two COVID critters. You're going to get the smoke purple. Or sorry, this is smoke purple, smoke red flake with some red tips. Smoke purple. I don't know why I keep calling it that. And then this is Pro Blue, has some orange tips as well, just like the Pro Blue jerkbait color. So all you have to do is comment CC. You're going to get a little decal package as well, the newer Folks drip logo. You're going to get two regular Folks Custom Cranks decals as well. So the winner will be selected at the end of this video. We're going to probably go till 8:45, 9 o'clock, however long you guys want to hang out with us and chat. This new, the Quakey style bait. Went out yesterday and fished it a good bit. Had pretty fun time throwing it around. Have a lot of videos to show of that, and I'll be doing a lot more videos of that down the line. Um, so we're kind of going to talk all things, this style bait. If you guys have any questions throughout the whole show, just please comment as well. If whatever question you have, we're going to try to cover rigging, how to fish it, where to fish it, and then kind of uh, my personal take on what it looks like, what it imitates, and why it works. Because these do work. Stupid and as silly as they look, they do catch fish. We made that happen yesterday. So yeah, let's get into it. We'll get into the details of this bait. And go from there. So we're calling it the COVID critter because to me it looks like a COVID ball. I just thought it's kind of a funny play on words. I think we're all past COVID at this point, so hopefully it don't offend anyone with that. But it is made out of the super stretchy TPE material. It's something I don't know what TPE stands for. The elastomer is what it's also referred to. But you can see it's got that super stretch, but there's no salt in it. So unlike Z-Man, Z-Man has salt in theirs. So what this allows you to do is this bait is super, super buoyant. If you fish this weightless, like I did yesterday, and we'll talk about that in the rigging, with zero weight, this bait suspends 6 inches under the water just perfect. So really cool for that. You add weight as well to fish it deep. And I want to bring up too that it's not just a live scope bait. We proved that yesterday. Definitely works on live scope. Don't get me wrong. That's how I caught a lot of my fish. But we also caught a lot of fish blind casting it and then fishing it weightless subsurface, kind of fishing it like a fluke or fishing it like a floating worm style. And that bite for us is just about to start picking up. Our water temps around home are like 63. Erie's still colder. Erie will be live scoping this a lot probably when we get up there, but don't just think it's just a live scope bait. The action on it is really cool. I'm not able to play videos in this live stream, but I have some really cool underwater footage of what this bait looks like when you work it the way we do. Of course, from what I've seen, there's not really a wrong way to work it, but we'll just kind of talk about how that all goes. So it's made with that super stretchy, buoyant material, or no salt whatsoever. So it's super durable. I'm yet to even rip a tentacle off of one in a fish. So the way I rig it, I don't think you're going to lose a lot of them due to fish. Maybe smallmouth jumping, but it's 19 millimeters wide, the ball is. That translates out to about 3/4 of an inch, and then the whole diameter, like tentacle to tentacle right here, is 4 inches. So it's a little bit bigger presence, but it all folds down to that little 3/4 inch ball, which we'll get into why I think it works well later, when we cover that part. So the first two colors they'll be dropping tomorrow. We have the smoke red with the red tips. We'll show you kind of a close-up photos and stuff in the slideshow I have for you, but there's some red tips. Unlike everyone else selling the same few colors, I really wanted to have a custom line. Being Fulks Custom Cranks, what I've always done is try to make my baits just a little bit different than everyone else's. So you're going to open these up, you're going to be like, wow, those colors are a little bit different. There's our Pro Blue, like a Pro Blue jerk bait. We want it to have a little bit of orange. It's got 3 orange tentacles on there to look like an orange belly. Same with the Smoke Red Flake. You can see, I can't see it because I can't see the red, but right down below here, there's some tentacles that are dyed orange, look really cool, and just a little bit different than everyone else is offering. And I will say, with the elastomer, everyone else's, even the original Koiki that I've smelt and handled, you smell it and it just smells like an old tire. Like, it literally smells like tire rubber, just burnt rubber. So ours are soaked in not COVID juice. Ours are soaked in garlic juice. Another reason we're calling it the COVID critter, because these things stink. I mean, your guys are going to open these boxes we have here. And I mean, you can, our whole house, just from packaging these today, just reeks of garlic. So pretty unique. I really think it needed some scent. I think it's going to help the bite as well, because there's nothing worse than getting a soft plastic bait that looks great and then smelling it, and it smells like old tire rubber or just burnt rubber, burnt plastic. So a little bit different than everyone else is offering. It's just what we try to do here at Folks Custom Cranks. We have a lot more custom colors coming down the line, but like everyone else, everything's backed up, production and everything. So trying to do it as fast as we can and get these available to you guys. So tomorrow the drop, it will be on our website, ST, uh, folkscustomcranks.com. The link is going across the bottom. It'll be the first thing on our website when you hit the shop. So, like I said, 2 colors. There's 100 of each color. We're not doing any limit. They're going to be between $9 and $10 each, whatever the website puts the pricing at for me. And then, yeah, we'll get them all shipped out Monday, just with shipping and how late, we're going to be tomorrow, posting them at 8 p.m., kind of giving everyone a chance to get home and have the ability to purchase them. We're not going to be able to ship them Saturday, so these will all be going out in the mail Monday to you guys. All 100 of each color are available. We're not holding back any for anyone. Once they're sold out, they will be sold out until we get our next shipment in. So just trying to keep it fair like that, keep it, to where everyone can have access to them on the drop and everything. So folkscustomcranks.com is where they'll be available. But like I said earlier in the video, we are doing the giveaway today. If you're just now joining, all you have to do to enter our giveaway for 2 free COVID critters is comment CC in the comments. Whatever you're watching it on is just comment CC. We'll put you in the raffle, and then later at the end of this video at 8:45 or 9 o'clock, we'll pull the winner, and yeah, we'll go from there. We've got a couple comments. Mr. Luke Martin, actually, he knows that's called thermoplastic elastomer, so thank you for that. That's the TPE material that's, on the packaging there that we have writ. We covered it's 3/4 inch ball with a 4-inch diameter, and then that's our 2 colors. So that's pretty much the details on ours. I want to show you guys kind of the rigging, how I go about rigging them, how other people go about rigging them, and I kind of have a little slideshow here. As long as it works, you never know with how we do that. So let's go ahead and switch to the next screen. And again, sorry if anything messes up here. Why is it not working? Share screen. Allow to share screen. Okay. So hopefully this is working for you. I'm going to go through and kind of show you this presentation here, all about info and stuff, and just to give you guys a better look, because the camera coming through the camera isn't that great. So on the left is our smoke red color. You can see the red tentacles towards the bottom there, and then on the right there is our Pro Blue with those orange tips. I really think that color looks cool. It's going to be a great shad color. The one thing I've noticed on a lot of these is no one's coming out with a lot of shad colors. So we have a lot of cool shad colors that coming down the pipe, just waiting on them to get arrived and everything. So I think that's going to be an awesome summertime, throwing a shad color around, imitate gizzard or imitate anything. We'll talk about what they imitate later as well. This is just, we laid them out on the deck here earlier. That was the smoke again. Thought it looked cool to lay them out all over the boat deck. And there's the Pro Blue from earlier. We were hitting them with the garlic juice outside, so we didn't make the inside smell too awful bad. just the advertising we've been doing. We've been kind of playing the quarantine, the whole COVID side. It just, to me, it's funny. We're 6 years past it all, and I think everyone knows the word COVID. So, what greater way to advertise these silly little baits that do catch fish, other than other than that? So rigging wise, this is the way I personally rig it, is how you see here. I'll show you as well in my video, on the camera as well. So you want to use a bigger treble hook. I originally was using like a size 4 because I felt with that 3/4 inch ball that a size 4 would be big enough. But I was getting a couple short strikes. I wasn't getting the hook set all the way through. So I switched over to size 2. You can probably even up it to a size 1 treble hook. Personally, I like the treble hook because you're only going to use 2 of those hooks to actually catch the fish. The bottom hook, as you can see, goes into the bait. You can put it completely into the bait, completely past the barb, and with that super stretchy elastomer material, I I haven't had a largemouth shake the bait off yet. We'll see what smallmouth do. We all know smallmouth spots, they're going to get more airborne, but with how hard it is to pierce that bait, we'll show you right here. With how hard it is to pierce this bait, I don't see an issue, going forward where you're going to catch one fish and this whole rig's going to fall off. So like you got to put some force in that thing to get it through. So I really think this is the best way of making sure your bait stays on the hook, as well as having 2 open hooks for them. Uh, Open water applications. Now, I was throwing this exact same rig around grass yesterday. It wasn't choked out grass. It was kind of grass that was, we're in 7 foot of water, and it came up to about 4 foot underneath the surface. So we were fishing right above the grass. I never really got hooked up in the grass too bad. And then you can see the split ring attached to the eye of the hook, and then a weight. Any drop shot style weight, any weight that you can ring through that split ring is perfect. Like I said, these are very buoyant. So even if you fish it weightless, even with that treble hook, it's only going to get 6 inches under the water. It's not going to dive any deeper. That is great for, sight fishing applications. That's going to be great for us here with the floating worm, the fluke style bite. We got some really cool footage of what this thing does when you jerk it along. All of those tentacles and whatever you want to call them, they really pulsate when you pop it like that. I'll be posting a like shorts TikTok video of that, because that's one of the really cool actions with this bait, and one of the reasons I think it gets bit. Weight wise, I around home fishing my lake, I really haven't thrown it much deeper than 10 to 15 foot. So I found that the 3/16 ounce weight really works well for me. And the whole key about weighing it, depending on how deep you're fishing, is you almost want this bait to kind of suspend. Once you get it matched up perfectly with the weight and everything that you're throwing, live scope or not, you want it to really be a super slow sink, super natural, almost a suspend. So if you're, fishing 6 foot of water, you probably don't want to throw like a 1/4 ounce weight, because that bait's going to be diving down, and when you jerk it, which we'll talk about how you fish it in a second. You want it to be pretty naturally weighted. You don't want it to be super heavy. You're fishing shallow. You might even put like a 1/16 or a 1/8. My dad was throwing it on an eighth, getting it down just like 2 to 3 foot under the surface rather than subsurface. When we go up to Erie, I fully expect to have to throw a 1/4, maybe even 3/8 to get it down to like fish that are in 20 to 30 foot of water. So that's something I'm going to play around with. Going to try to share those videos with you guys. I haven't seen a whole lot of smallmouth, especially up on our side of Erie, caught on this style bait, especially live scoping. I hate it or love it. I live scoping on Erie for smallmouth has changed how I fish for Erie, for fished Erie up there as well. But you can catch plenty of smallmouth on this sight fishing it when they're up shallow, twitching it like a jerk bait, twitching it like a floating worm, that kind of deal. Another way of rigging it, pretty popular. Oh yeah. So, I personally use the tungsten drop shot weight when I rig it for live scope like this in open water conditions. Because this bait actually has a big presence, and with that tungsten weight, this bait shows up great on live scope. You don't need any bait pop. Of course, you can add it if you want it, but this thing already reeks of garlic. So, it just shows up really good on live scope because of how big the presentation is, and then because you have that big old not big, but you have that tungsten weight hanging off the front, which is catching, your live scope beam and all that. Other ways of rigging it that we've seen, I haven't. This is my only experience fishing it is like this. Like I said, twitching it kind of like a jerkbait, popping it, and shaking it on their nose. We'll cover how I fish it in a second. Um, Another very popular way, sorry, it's not the best picture, is like the talisman style hook. You can see there it's got a, it's not on the screen. But none of this, none of this is on the screen.
Just you. You're on.
Okay, then need to fix that then. Sorry guys, I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. Okay, hopefully this is better. So we'll go back through. Is it showing now? Okay. So, sorry guys, I didn't realize that. I can't see what I'm showing. So this was the rig I was talking about with the treble hook and the split ring and the drop shot weights. Uh, so the other way you can rig it is with the Talisman by Ryugi. A bunch of other brands are making this now. Uh, Another great way, you thread it on to the hook there. I believe it stays on that hook keeper pretty well, and they do sell them with a weed guard. So if you're fishing it more shallow around some wood or around grass, this is going to help you fish it like that. And then it has the swivel, so you can put the weight on it. But personally, if I'm around open water, I'd prefer having those two hooks facing up. Just you're going to get them in the top of the jaw every time. I have no experience throwing it with a single hook. I'd imagine you might have to jam the hook a little bit harder. That's one tip I've seen from a lot of pros is even though you're throwing this on a spinning gear, uh, I experienced this myself. You got to tighten that drag a little bit, and when you get a bite, you kind of got to hit them a little bit harder than you're used to on like a Ned rig or a drop shot. You gotta set the hook, just because there's a lot of stuff there. So your fish is coming up and he's going to bite it and he's going to get it in his mouth, but there's also a lot in the way. All these tentacles are in the way. So when you feel that tick, or if you see it bite on live scope, whatever the case is, make sure you just hit them a little bit harder than you're used to with your normal finesse spinning gear. That's pretty similar way as well. I don't know this exact hook, who the maker is. I just like the be able to show you guys another way of rigging it. This is a very popular way of rigging it around cover and everything. But like I said, I'm a treble hook guy. I'm probably going to rig this like a treble hook until I figure out, what the bad thing is about throwing it on a treble hook that I don't already know, like grass and wood and stuff. But for open water wise, I think the way I have it is the way I like it. So and I guess it just went off on us again. So I'm not sure why I'm having any issues with that. The last way I've seen it rigged, the is it? Am I still live?
Just you.
Okay. Um, the other way I've seen it being rigged is on a just a flat out just a jig head. So people threading it on the hook like a Ned rig style. I'm imagining you're fishing on the bottom. Once again, once I get up to Erie, I'm gonna have a few different of these rigged up. I'll have a weightless. I'll have one with the weighted version in front, and then I'll probably put one on a jig head and fish it on the bottom. Probably like a quarter ounce, something again that's not super heavy. On Erie, when we're fishing a Ned rig over 20 or 30 foot, lots of times we're throwing 3/8 ounce. But I feel like this bait, you want it to be kind of a slow fall. A lot of your bites and a lot of the times that fish are going to get attracted to this are going to be on that fall when it's just quivering and and pulsating on the way down. So that's how you rig it. Let's go ahead and get into how I fish it now. Uh, Once again, I don't know if there's a wrong way to fish these. From my personal experience, the best way of doing it is fishing it, twitching it, working it like a jerk bait. Like what if you're live scoping it, you see a fish or you see your cover, let it sink down to that. Just stay above it, of course. And you want to just I do literally the same as I do a jerk bait. I do two and then one. You let it pulse, and when you're ripping it like that, that bait is going and then back to that, and then just doing that, and then so all those tentacles are pulsing forward when you're ripping it like that. Uh, you can also, I've caught fish doing this on live scope and stuff, is you just jig head minnow it. You just sit there and just, and eventually you can tick them off and eat it. So just depends on what mood the fish are in. Definitely, if the fish are more aggressive, the ripping of it definitely gets them to trigger bites. We still fishing pre-spawn here, so a lot of our fish are lethargic and not wanting to eat it as well. So you got to sit there and kind of, I just call it tickling their nose, because you're just sitting there and tickling their nose with it until one eats it. But uh, you can, and same thing. So if you're fishing it weightless, or if you're fishing it really light subsurface, we'll cover that question in a second, Jeff. That's a really good question. Uh, if you're fishing it subsurface, or if you're fishing it, you know, blind casting around, fishing it like a jerk bait, that's all you're doing. Just twitch, twitch, pause, twitch, pause. Jig head, you might let it hit the bottom, but I am yet to catch any fish letting it hit the bottom. They're so dang expensive. I don't want to let it hit the bottom and lose it. So that's the way I've been doing it. That's the way I would recommend to you guys doing it. But once we get to, if you're fishing on a bed, of course you'll let it hit the bottom. And then in the summer, when they get keyed in on crawfish and stuff on the bottom, bluegills, that'd be another good way of just letting it really slowly fall to the bottom and then popping it off the bottom. So Jeff just put in a question. It's a really good question. Not a stupid question at all. He said, when you rig it, do you tie to the hook eye or to the split ring? So I actually made this mistake yesterday. I was originally tying to the split ring, but I didn't like the way my line was getting wrapped around this weight every time I would pulse it. So what I started doing was I just tied to the hook itself. That way the split ring can still roll free. And you see my line ties are still on there because I was throwing this exact rig yesterday. But I think if you tie to the hook and on top of, you want to tie it, make sure you're tying on top of the split ring, not underneath the split ring, because you don't want your line to get all wrapped around that thing and create a tangled mess. So you always want to tie to the hook. That way, when you set the hook, you're having a direct connection. That hook's going up just like that, right into the top jaw there. And yeah, thank you, Jeff. That was a great point of bringing up. I made that mistake my first time going out as well. You get line twists, you get tangle. I still caught fish when I was tied onto the split ring, but I honestly think the action's better tying just right onto the hook. So hopefully that cleared that up for you, Jeff. Great question. And just because we have some new people joining in, again, we are giving away two of these to a winner tonight. All you have to do is comment CC down below. The winner will get two COVID critters before they're released and a decal package. So all you have to do is comment below, and we'll pick a winner here. As the live stream's over, I don't know what time it is. Yeah, we're still good. It's 8:22. So uh, now pink. I don't have it in pink. Working on a color that I think is going to be really cool uh, for Miri, for smallmouth, but we've seen Morning Non catches a lot of fish as well. So there is a pink one coming down the line. There might be a pink purple, that kind of deal. So I'm really excited to show you guys the colors we've been working on. Just trying to be different than everyone else making them. The factory I'm working with has been pretty cool with all my custom color requests that I've been sending them, and color samples and that kind of thing. So I think you guys will like our colors. It'll be a little bit different as well, just a little bit different offering. So again, there'll be these first two colors, the smoke red and the pro blue, will be available on our website tomorrow at 8 p.m. There's 100 of each available. 8 p.m. EST, folkscustomcranks.com. No limits, no whatever. Once they're gone, they're gone. But they'll all be available for sale tomorrow. We aren't selling the hooks with them yet. I'm thinking maybe down the line it would be cool to sell them with the treble hook for you guys who fish open water. The only issue with that is then, of course, the only issue with that is when you get the guys, oh, I only like Gamakatsus or whatever. I'm a fan of these BKK hooks. That was what we would sell them with if we did sell them with it. So that's something to consider. If you guys would like to see it come kind of not with the weight, but if you'd like to see it come with already rigged on the hook, it would also make it actually easier to package instead of having to deal with this little wire. We had a lot of headaches with that wire packaging all 100 of each color there earlier. Paul Johnson likes the pop pop sound when a jerk is pop pop. So you can just like a fishing a jerk bait. I don't know if there's any wrong way of fishing a jerk bait. I've always been a 2-1 2-1 cadence guy. Then you have people like KVD. KVD would probably put this with like a 3/8 ounce weight and then just never stop twitching it. That's how we call KVD in a jerk bait. So it's all personal preference. From my experience working it like the jerk bait or just shaking it like shaking a jig head minnow kind of deal work best. The subsurface bite, I'm really looking forward to fishing it weightless, truly weightless, like this one. We did catch some fish on this yesterday, truly weightless, that far underneath the water. just the water being 60, it was like 60 to 62, so the fish weren't super up shallow. More so whenever they're going to be roaming the banks, looking to be spawning. That's when that fluke floating worm bite comes on, and that's when it's just going to be really cool, and we're going to get a lot of cool footage for you, especially up on Erie when we're catching hopefully some 5 pound smallmouth on this. And do have a smallmouth color coming called Smalley Snot, so I think you guys will like that color. It's gonna be bright. Anything I throw for smallmouth are always bright, but the Smalley Snot color is gonna. I'm gonna be catching a lot of fish on that. I can already feel it just with everything. So then you have the everyone's question is, well, what the heck does it look like? There's a bunch of different arguments. We'll try to cover them all. And actually, I'll ask you guys, comment below what you think this looks like, or what you think it looks like to a fish. I don't think there's a wrong answer. Kind of go through all the points I've seen online. So one of the points I've seen online is that people said it looks like a microbe, or a microorganism that bass feed on when they're, fry, uh, when they're really small, or when they're baby bass, whatever. So definitely I can see that being a player. If you feed on something for half your life, as being a bass, you grow up, you're gonna eat, you're gonna remember seeing that. Just like why stock trout will always eat power bait or anything that resembles a food pellet, because that stock trout grew up eating that bait. It's gonna always remember, hey, that's food, that's a food source. So that definitely could be one of the reasons why fish eat this. Then again, fish, look at all the shapes of plastic in the fishing world, like a Cinco. Just look at all those shapes of plastic. So fish will eat anything as long as it smells good and has a good color to it. I feel like, if you present it the right way. What I really think is the main reason fish like this, fishing it suspended, is because that ball is only 3/4 inch, but the whole diameter of the bait is 4 inches. When you pulsate this thing, I feel like it has the same feel or the same like drawing power in the water as like a jig. Because we'll post the video some point of the underwater footage. When you're pulsating this thing, all of those arms are going back, and then as soon as it stops, instantly springing forward. So that's sending a lot of vibration and a lot of movement through the water, with all these massive tentacles on it. But the fish feel that they're like, oh, there's something bigger, a bigger presence in the water, kind of like a swim bait or a glide bait, where it has that bigger drawing power. Uh, but when they see it, they only see that 3/4 inch diameter ball, so it's a really easy snack for them. Personally, that's what I'm leaning towards, just because I've seen the power, the drawing power of a bigger bait style or something that just puts off a bigger vibration, that kind of deal. So that's personally what I think is the reason why this gets bit, is just because of when you pulsate it like that or when you shake it, all these legs and all that action and vibration is translating to the fish's lateral line. So they sense it before they see it, and then when they see it, they're like, "Oh, that's tiny. I can eat that. No big deal." So that's why I think you see a lot of like the younger anglers who are winning every tournament on this, catching a lot of bigger fish on it, because it does have that big fish draw to it, being the bigger style. This one being the 19 millimeter, 4 inch diameter. Not saying the little ones don't catch big fish, but I think this is just the perfect size of it being big enough to get their attention and being small enough to be just a little slurp snack form, not have any issues getting her down the hatch, especially smallmouth. That's my only concern with smallmouth is like, a 12 to 14 inch smallmouth. This bait, this bait's bigger than their mouth, the full of tentacles, but they can definitely get this ball with the treble hook in their mouth. Just when a smallmouth sees this, smallmouth are full of what and vinegar, so I'm sure they're still going to try to eat it. But a 12-inch smallmouth might not be able to get this in his mouth, but a 4 or 5 pounder definitely will.
Two pros across it, but that's one said it was a crawfish, the other said it was Mendes eating.
So as a good comment, Mark Ice also commented that he thinks it looks like minnows feeding on something. I definitely could see that. With each one of these tentacles putting off a vibration, it probably does resemble a bait school of some sort. we actually heard this from one of the pros at Red Crest when we walked around last week during the media event. We were talking to a couple guys. We saw a lot of them tied on, and one of them said exactly what Mark says, where he thinks it resembles something, just a forage, something forage wise feeding. We know bass, they're predators. They see something else is eating. They want to get in on it and then eat whatever's eating. So, the other, what was the other one? Oh, crawfish. So the other pro that we talked to at Red Crest said it looks like a crawfish, which I think we can all agree that this, especially rigged on like a jig head or fished on the bottom, definitely looks like a crawfish. Because to me, this looks very jiggy. When you fish it in the water, the skirt, the tentacles do lay back when you're swimming it through the water. So I can see how this looks very jiggy. A jig is very crawfishy. So I we talked to two pros out of 35 fishing it. That was the two things we heard. The reason bass like it. So again, I'll take their word for it. I think that's a good point. Looks like a big spider. I mean, definitely not wrong there. I'm sure plenty of bass have eaten a spider in their day, especially fishing at subsurface. If there's ever like a mayfly hatch or a we had a cicada hatch a few years ago, that would be awesome. That would be a great representation for it. Mr. Paul asked, he said, "What's your thoughts on Carolina rigging it?" He's going to be fishing Murray and uh, wants to know how he's going to rig it. This would be an awesome Carolina rig bait because it's going to float. Um, I think if you put, especially on a single hook, a treble hook, you might run into some issues snagging, fishing on the bottom. So if you fish it on like a single hook, you can put a weed guard on it or not. But if you fish this on a Carolina rig, this bait is going to float up above the bottom. So that might be a cool thing for me to check out on Erie, Paul. So thank you for that. That's definitely a way we'll have to look into it. We all know, like when you're fishing a Carolina rig, at least in personal experience, I always want the bait a little bit off the bottom. So that would be, I think that'd be a cool way of fishing it. And thank you for the recommendation.
Somebody wants to know how to get it.
Oh, so if you just joined late, sorry. How you get them is the drop is tomorrow on our website, folkscustomcranks.com, 8 p.m. We're going to be dropping 100 of each color again. We're going to be dropping, this is the smoke red, and then this is the pro blue. They'll be available, 100 of each, no limits. You can get however many you want, and then we'll ship them out to you Monday. But if you're joining late, again, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but don't want to have you guys miss up the opportunity to win these. We're giving out a set before they're available for sale. So if you join late, all you have to do is comment CC down below, and we'll enter you in our raffle here. We're probably going to give it away here shortly. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Have any other questions or anything of that sort? Uh, let's see what else we want to bring up talking about it. Actually, let's switch gears just for a second. Cover Red Crest. Finally home, recovering from Red Crest, getting back to painting. Really appreciate everyone, liking everything that we did there. Had a great time. The wiggle warts and the pre-Rapala wiggle warts that we painted and took down with us, they are coming back. We shipped them back. I'm too cheap to fly with them, and I don't even know if you can fly with them. So we are just waiting on the package to come in. I do believe I have about 15-ish of each color that we did for Red Crest, so those will all be on the website whenever we get them. And then the giveaway for the signed Rapala DT, the giant one that we did an orange tail, it's coming back from Red Crest as well, being shipped to us. So we're going to do that drawing April 30th. That is live on our website. It's an online ticket. Where when you submit your purchase, you're giving us your email with your order. We're going to put your email and how many entries you bought into an Excel sheet, and then we'll do our giveaway live on this, live broadcast, whatever you want to call it, next live stream, which is April 30th. I believe it's next Thursday. So we'll be doing another live on Thursday next week. Show the winner. We'll have that bait here with us, and going to be an awesome time. So it's my rod and reel setup. Perfect. I didn't bring that up. I'd personally like throwing on a spinning pole. Just being able to make more accurate casts, live scoping it. Now, if you're fishing it, blind casting it, if you're fishing it subsurface, you can definitely throw it on a bait caster. This bait, even though it's buoyant, it is heavy. I don't know the exact weight. I think it's 9 grams. which turns out to be just above a quarter ounce. So the bait itself, weighs a quarter ounce. You add in that treble hook, you can definitely throw it on a bait caster, but spinning gear is my preferred method. I like a little bit longer rod, like a 7.6 medium is what I've been throwing it on, just because it catches a lot of wind when you're throwing it, even with that weight, with all those tentacles. I just like something a little bit whippier, but has enough backbone. Like I was talking earlier, when you set the hook a little bit harder than you're normally used to, that you still can get them. I'm not throwing on like a 7.6 medium light drop shot finesse setup. I'm throwing on just a straight 7.6 medium. It's actually an MMA rod that I have. It's perfect for it. It's whippy enough to cast it, but it's not too whippy that when you set the hook, you're not just giving in all tip. You're actually getting some meat into them. So thank you, Jeff. That was a great question. Reel wise, whatever spinning reel you like or bait cast reel. I always all of my spinning reels just for castability. I have braid to fluoro leader like everyone else. Nothing crazy. I run a super thin braid for Erie and stuff because we like to fish. On Erie, it's so clear. You got to make long casts. I usually throw. I think it's like a 8 or 10 pound, whatever the sinking Berkeley line is. The I forget what it's called. It was their new live scope line, but it is a really solid braid. It's not just meant for live scope. It's just a really finesse, real fine strand braid. And then I like a 10 or 12 pound leader, even in super clear water if I'm fishing largemouth or smallmouth, that 10 to 12 pound leader, I don't think makes that big of a difference, especially because this bait has such a big drawing power. And that's another good question. Buddy asked if it has the hole through the center. It does not. When I was rigging them and playing around with the original Koike, of course, that hole in the center is nice for like threading onto a treble hook and everything, and you'll never lose it that way. But I just didn't like. I just thought it was too big almost. So the only hole in the center of these is just from where we have the wire going through. So there is a very, whatever diameter that wire is. I think it's like 10 or 12 gauge. There is that little small hole, but not that real big, like tungsten weight size, hole going through the middle. To me, I like it better that way. It's more meat, more soft plastic. You can get the hook through. But, of course, Koike makes it like with that hole going through the middle. I'm sure there's more reasons to it other than that. But the COVID critter, the Fulks COVID critter, the only hole is going to be from the wire. So that's a great question. Thank you, buddy, for asking that. And I think that about wraps it up. If we have any last second people wanting in on the giveaway, last chance to comment CC. We're gonna draw the giveaway. It is 8:37, so it's perfect. We'll be able to get back to the NFL draft and do a little, watch some of that if you guys are into it. And then if not, I think we might try to go fishing tomorrow. But for me, I got to go back to the paint booth after this, so I'll be painting your guys' orders. Got to do a little sandblasting tomorrow after fishing. Got to get some warts and all that fun stuff, and then get the rest of these packaged up. I think we still have 20 or so to put in boxes, and tomorrow at 8 o'clock we'll be doing that drop. So we'll post all about it. If you guys want to stay tuned to all of our social medias, Folks Custom Cranks on everything. We have the website rolling on the bottom as well. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll go ahead and do our giveaway and get out of here. So. And our winner for the giveaway is Cody Rogers. So, Cody, we will contact you however you commented, whether it was Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We will contact you and we will get your address. You don't have to give us anything. All we're going to do is just ask for your address to ship you these 2 COVID critters and the decal package. So, congratulations, Cody. Good job on winning them. You're gonna get them a little bit. I'll ship them tomorrow to you, so you're gonna get them before anyone else. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any other questions about these, feel free to reach out to me. You can message me, you can text me. All my information's on the website, all on my Facebook and everything. So don't ever be afraid to ask me, hey, dumb question, how do I rig this or how do I fish this? Always here to help you guys, and that's about any bait. If you have questions about crankbaits, about anything fishing related, I'm a night owl. I'm gonna be painting tonight till 2 to 3 a.m. So don't feel bad talking to me late at night. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate everyone joining in, and thanks. Good luck fishing.